Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sins, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is November the 11th, 2022, and today the topic is Love Your Enemies. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Mine ended up being a little bit more busy than I expected because your girl had a little this and a little that to do. I have been debating on how to tell y'all about my day. Like, should I just save that information for the end, the after show, for the people that watch me live, or are you guys interested? Please comment below how you guys want me to do it. Keep the same format or do it differently because yeah, maybe y'all just want me to get to the juice as soon as I start. So by all means, leave your girl some feedback and comments and things like that. But yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's what my day looked like yesterday. I ran an errand. I ended up doing this virtual authors Q&A with some young writers, and I ended up meeting an awesome little young man that is writing his first story and everything like that. And so that was an awesome experience. And then not long after that, your girl was doing the new show, which was the Communion Girls. Thank you to the ones that tuned in live with us last night, me and Miss Crystal Fry. Awesome episode, if I say so myself. I think it went really, really well. And yeah, man, to God be the glory. To God be the glory for all things. Um, I hope that you all enjoyed it by all means. You guys can, let us know and everything like that. And go check out A Walk in the Word, or excuse me, A Walk Through the Word, Daily Bread with Crystal Fry. She's an awesome lady, awesome person to collaborate with. And I'm excited about this new series. And I hope that you all are too. But yeah, that's what yesterday looked like. There was a couple of other little things going on, but again, I think that's my private business, not for you. So I guess I won't go too deep into that. But yeah, so in case you're wondering, I know those that watch me live, you may be seeing a bottle of wine next to me and everything like that. That's because this is what we use for the communion. Maybe I'll show it to y'all in the after show if you're interested or something like that. But yeah, so that's why y'all see the little setup for today. But speaking of today, y'all know that it's Friday and a new episode of God, Sex, and Love, the talk show, should be going live at 7. But another thing that should be happening today is that we should be reaching the 1,000th video on our YouTube channel. Milestone, goal, however you guys want to look at it. I mean, to me, it just blows my mind to even think that we've done that much. Because we launched in 2020 and God just really has done a miraculous thing. So I'm excited about it. I should be going live at 6 it'll be like a pre-celebration because technically the episode that airs at 7 would make it the 1,000th video. But I wanted to at least do it on the same day that we would get the 1,000. So to make the 1,000th video a celebration of getting to 1,000. But I think with the time that I chose, it'll be like a pre-celebration. And then the next episode of GSL will count as the 1,000th video. But regardless, I'm going to put a link out and let you guys, come in and pop in with me and celebrate with me and whatnot at 6. And yeah, the new talk show episode will air tonight at 7. And so, yeah, that's what's going on in my world and GSL world and everything like that. But I mean, let's get into the juice, y'all. Let's get into the juice. Love your enemies. Okay. So, well, I mean, basically what got me to this conversation today is waking up, your girl, when I wake up at, I not say weird times, but when I wake up at any time that's outside of my alarm time, which is 4, I feel like the Lord is trying to wake me up and tell me something. So at this point, like I say, I do go deeper by looking up verses and looking at the Strong's Concordance and things like that to see what, if there's anything that resonates with me. And so today, when I looked into the Strong's Concordance, I came across 2 words. I'm going to do my best again. It's probably Greek or something like that, but here we go. Anakano which means renew, and ayabe. So I don't know if it's repeated twice, but from what I'm understanding, that means hating an adversary or enemy. So when I went deeper about those words, I looked up the definitions, everything like that. And ultimately, when I started to look up the Bible verses, what I was receiving is to love our enemies. I was seeing a lot of different, I would say, commands for believers in how to handle our enemies. And the thing is, we know that it's the complete opposite of what we do, right? It's the complete opposite of like how we feel and what we think we should do. But I mean, we're going to see, I'm just going to share what the Bible has to say. And I hope that it encourages you and inspires you to do what the word is saying and do the will of God, even though it may not, again, be our first thought and it may be foreign and like, man, why would I want to do that like that? And I think there's also balance with it too, because I think sometimes we can either go on two extremes. We're too, we're willing to bow down to everything, or we are like taking vengeance in our own hands and doing the complete opposite of what God is telling us to do. And I think there's a healthy balance between, doing these things that God is asking us to do, but also being bold. Like I heard a YouTuber yesterday, Miss Dana Ray, mention be, bold as a lion and whatnot. Like Jesus was both equally the lion and the lamb, and so, and so we must be, right? That doesn't mean bow down to everything. But it does mean, turn the cheek X, Y, and Z. It's not all about like having to win the argument or feel like, I'm right, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's the interesting thing about what I came across today, because, and what I'm receiving in these Bible verses that I came across, because again, by doing things God's way, it keeps us in this humble position to understand, the heart of God, as well as like remembering that when it comes to humanity, at the end of the day, even though you may feel some type of way about the person that you're interacting with, we have to understand that it's bigger than what we may see and feel. And at the end of the day, the even playing field of Christ is knowing that all have sinned and fallen short. There was no man perfect except Jesus. That's it. So when you really, really get an understanding of that and notice that, okay, so all of us have failed, all of us have sinned, nobody's perfect, then that should give you grace and mercy for your fellow man. And then on a deeper level, again, understanding that we are fighting against spirits and principalities and not flesh and blood. It's not even really the people that we're dealing with that we call quote unquote enemies. Like sometimes, because if we're not walking in the will of God and we are open to being used by our adversary, which is Satan. Now, I know people don't like to think about that because it's like, oh, well, you try to say I'm possessed. You trying to say, I mean, not necessarily. You still have authority, right? You have authority and whatnot. Well, I guess it depends on how far you've gone, or whatnot. But in spite of, we still have authority and we still have the ability to have self-control and all those different types of things. Again, there may be things that come into our heart and mind that we're like, wow, like, would I do that? Like some evil thoughts can come into our hearts and minds. And some people, are able to take those thoughts captive, like the Bible say, and throw them away and let them be what they are and not engage. But then some people, if they're in a vulnerable state, they might lean into whatever that evil thought is. And so, but we as believers, those that are believers, we have to still give grace and mercy to those people, because at the end of the day, God has given us grace and mercy for our sins and the things that we do that is just as evil in his eyes. And so Yeah. So there's no, no respect of person in that aspect. And I think, again, by loving our enemies, that should keep us in that humble state to understand that, wow, God loved me, God gave me grace and mercy. I'm going to give that to the next person, even if they feel like they're my enemy or whatever the case is. And let God work through me with that. Now, if it becomes the ultimate sacrifice, right, and the person is, does the ultimate evils to you and everything like that, I mean, obviously, you know, if you're alive and things, then we have to, lean and depend on God. But the thing is, we got to trust God with all aspects of life, even that. And ultimately, it's up to Him to take us to the next realm, if you will. So yeah, I mean, that's just things to think about. But let me tell y'all what the Bible says. Okay, so Luke 6:27 says, "But I say to you, who hear, love your enemies, do good to those that hate you." So yeah, there might be people that hate you. And again, I would give them that grace and mercy to say it might not even be them, the person. It could be whatever is able to operate through them if they're opening their hearts and minds to evil, right? So we grace and mercy for that. But there might be some adversaries in life, right? And there might be evil people and people that hate you or whatever the case is. But it's telling us clearly to do good to those people, love those people. Now, does that mean bow to everything that they want to do and all that type of stuff? Does that mean to not defend yourself? Well, it just depends, right? Now I know that America, right, gives us the right of self-defense and whatnot, and I do believe that God gives us grace to defend ourselves in regards to life and stuff. I mean, I don't think it's His will all the time. I don't know, but it's just me talking at this point, so this is just me, y'all. I was going to say that I don't think it's His will. I think He wants us to live and live abundantly. Like, I don't think it's His will for people to just die and people to get murdered and all those different things. But those things happen. Why? And then people question why. They're like, well, if God is good, why? Well, at the end of the day, He's given us all free will. And unfortunately, some people use their free will for evil. And it affects those that may not be using their free will for evil. Because that's life, but regardless of that, well, what are we supposed to do? It's telling us to love. It's telling us that even if they hate us and everything like that, do good to those people. And so again, that might not be our first thought, that might not be what we want to do and everything like that, but that is a clear instruction. And let me keep going. Proverbs 24:17, it says, "Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles." Now that might be a little bit, I mean, I think the whole thing might be a little poke, but I think that one kind of hit with me. And not that I don't think I go out of my way to, celebrate when someone stumbles and things like that. But I think there is a part of us as humans that kind of look forward to for the other foot to fall, right? We're like, and then this is not nothing new. People in the Bible was doing that too, Lord. Like, Lord, how long are my enemies going to prevail over me? How long are these people that are doing wicked, evil things going to, win? When am I going to be avenged? And all these different things that we think. So yeah, I mean, that is, it's not uncommon. I believe that we all have a little bit of that inside of us. We're questioning and wondering and wanting the judgment to happen and all those different things. And it will, but I think it's more important for us as believers to do God's will, which is ultimately spreading the gospel, making more disciples, and showing people the love of Christ versus waiting for people to fall and fail just to be like, haha, I told you. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's not, what I'm receiving is that it's not a good thing to be celebrating when people fail, right? At the end of the day, all right. So what's coming to my heart and mind is the recent thing. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I shared it with y'all last month or the month before last about the issue that happened between me and this individual. And I don't hate the individual, even in spite of what happened. And I don't seek for that person to fall, right? I don't seek for that person to um stay in that place. Like, I hope and pray that the person change their life, honestly. But that's between them and God at the end of the day. But what should I do as a believer? Should I wait on the sidelines and be ready to cheer when I see that, oh, this person is passed or something like that? And it's like, oh, they died in their sin. Woo, hooray. Like, what kind of believer am I to do that? So I still pray for the individual. I still, every now and then when the person crosses my mind, I just pray for them, and I hope and pray that, I don't know where they are in their life, and I don't know if they're still going down that path or what. I don't know if I planted a seed or if I fanned the flame or whatever. Like, I don't know, but I'm just gonna still do what I'm supposed to do, which is to love and do good, in spite of, you know, everything else. And so that's just something to think about. I think we all need to do better with that, especially if we call ourselves believers and stuff. I think we all need to be, doing better with that. Let's not stand on the sidelines and ready to cheer when somebody falls and fails and stumbles and things like that. Let's be, well, let me show y'all what the Bible say. Proverbs 16:7, it says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. So yeah, at the end of the day, like, well, that's another verse that came into my heart and mind just now, before I read that one. But is it in here? Well, that one's good too, but it might be in the go deeper section, and it was talking about feeding your enemy when they're hungry, providing them something to drink if they're thirsty, things like that, like doing good in that aspect, regardless of who they are and what they're doing to you, and if they hate you or whatever the case is. Now, do we do that? Does that sound like the most foreign thing ever to do? It does. But then as I study and stuff like that, I'm seeing that, well, that's the heart of God, right? That's what God do for us every day. So who are we not to then show that same grace and mercy to the next person, regardless of what that person do? So, that's just something to think about. But when I think about the verse that I just read here, when a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. I mean, it is what it says, what it says, and it is what it is. I mean, when we think about different biblical accounts, I believe at some point, if I'm not mistaken, that there was this tension between David and Saul, and um, Saul just was coming for David, coming, and David had the opportunity to take Saul out a couple of times, but he didn't. He was like, I can't touch God's anointed, X, Y, and Z. I know I talked about that in the previous shoot, and so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, eventually Saul let up on the attacks on David. You know what I mean? Now we can go confirm that, because I didn't study that this morning to reiterate, to remind myself. But I'm pretty sure that at some point they came to some type of like resolve, and Saul allowed David to live in somewhat in peace, and things like that. And so that's the thing, like, somebody can be trying to break you down and kill you and all those different things. But at the end of the day, if we keep doing the will of God and loving in God's way and doing good and all these different things, though it won't be in vain. Yeah, I believe truly that it won't be in vain. I had just one more verse to share, y'all, and it's Romans 12:21. It says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. So, yeah, I mean, we're so quick to want to like do what somebody else do to us. And I don't believe that's what the golden rule says. Now, I was, throughout childhood to now, right? I always wondered about that. I'm like, well, the words say we're supposed to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. But then if someone else is doing, so if they're doing evil, whatever the case is, should I do that to them because that's what they want? You know what I mean? Or should I just do X, Y, and Z? Like, those are things that I question or whatnot, going in that circle of asking that type of question. But I think with wisdom, right, age and maturity and everything like that, I see that regardless of whatever someone else is doing, we need to do good. And that's the juice. That's the juice today. So I hope that this encourages you and inspires you in regards to this, let us all challenge ourselves to be more like Christ and love our enemies and everything like that. We can go deeper in the Go Deeper section. There are a few verses to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today is 1 Peter 4:10. It says, as every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Well, actually, no, tonight to celebrate 1,000 videos, and then a new episode of God, Sex, and Love should be playing tonight. So yeah, and then tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, The Sanctuary. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you to the ones that was tuning in. I see people that was popping in and out. I see that I received the heart, so thank you so much for that. That Bible verse of the day really kind of stood out to me as I was reading it now, because it said, let's see, as every man has received the gift, even so minister the same to another, right? So minister the gift to another. Then it says, as good stewards of the manifold, which is many, plethora, the variety, right, of grace of God. Like, I feel like that just goes hand in hand with, what the Lord gave me this morning in regards to loving our enemies and everything like that. Again, God has given us grace and mercy. We have to give that back. And that's all with that, I guess. But yeah, man, to God be the glory for all things. I'm thankful for another day. I'm thankful that the Lord, woke me up this morning, leading me in my right mind, gave me something to share today. I hope that, again, that you all are encouraged and inspired. Just in case you was wondering, since it is here, the elephant in the room is this wine that is available on miracleofwine.com. This one is called Table, and it's a red wine. And yeah, I guess I just felt like that really fit the thing, because me and Miss Crystal, we were talking, and I was telling her about the wines, and I was like, well, should we use different wine every time? And X, Y, and Z, just thinking about it. And I was like, well, no, this wine is usually featured on the website like all the time. And it's probably one of the most affordable bottles on the website as well. And the fact that, the red is always available. And I just felt like it's perfect. And then with the name being Table, and we're doing communion and everything like that, I just felt like that was just so fitting to use this one. So that's what we used last night and everything like that. And I think everything went really well. I hope that you all enjoyed the new series. Like I said, I have more things in the workshop, so hopefully more content coming, more shows, more collaborations, things like that. By all means, you guys can give me feedback and let me know what you guys want to see. You can let me know how you guys want to see the content that is currently out. Like I said, like the juice, let me know that, hey, Miracle, I prefer that you talk about your day and all that stuff at the end of the juice. By all means, let me know that. Or if you're cool with the way things are going and flowing, that's fine too. Let me know that. But yeah, I just want to continue to do this and I feel like do God's will and things like that. I'm excited because there's some more things on the horizon, and God just has been blowing my mind all week with the things that he has revealed to me, as well as the opportunities that has been presented and everything like that. So, I mean, I'm excited, y'all. To God be the glory. It's a beautiful time for me. And I'm thankful to be able to share it. And so I hope that, again, these things encourage you and inspire you. And I look forward to talking to you all later on to celebrate 1,000 videos, as well as everything, just to celebrate everything. And so, all right, y'all. Well, I will let you all go. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.